So, folks, again, welcome to all of you to Fountain Valley School's virtual event this evening. Tonight's event is called All Things Fountain Valley School, and so we've got 6 presenters this evening to share a few words about Fountain Valley School with you. This is the third virtual event of the year for us, and we have a whole host of virtual events coming up. The next one is Parent Voices, which will be on December 6th at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And if you want a full list of all the virtual events that we offer over the coming months, please jump on our website and you can see them all listed there. It's also worth noting that we have a winter open house coming up on January 13th. Of course, everyone's invited to that one. So without further ado, I'm going to get into our agenda here. Firstly, a big thank you to my colleagues for their time this evening. I really appreciate it. As I shared, we've got a number of speakers. The first speaker that you'll be hearing from this evening is Megan Harland, our head of school. You'll then be hearing from Eunice Torres from our language department. You'll then be hearing from Danielle Llewellyn from our science department, from Curtis Singmaster from our art department, and then you'll be hearing from two of our students. Both Sam and Annie will be sharing some of their experiences with you too. Very, very lucky to have you all with us. Thank you. And I'm going to hand it over to Megan now for a few words. Thanks, Megan.
Yeah, hello, everyone. It's so nice to have you all here with us tonight. I am entering into my 4th month as the head of school at Fountain Valley. And for me, in this role, it's like winning the lottery. Every morning I get to wake up on the Front Range. Every morning I get to see the snow-capped Pike Peaks. The bald eagles are in my backyard. There are far too many deer. There's 90 horses as I walk down to my office, green lawns, and most importantly, there are just fantastic people. So I could not be happier, and I hope that if you haven't had the opportunity to come visit us, that you will take that time, because it is truly one of the most spectacular boarding school campuses. I absolutely love it. I'm excited to have you all here tonight because I feel like Fountain Valley is a school that's on the move. We are having a great time right now reimagining our strong curriculum and finding ways that we can develop the skills in our students so that when they leave Fountain Valley, they have the ability to handle all the challenges that they will be facing in the world that they will be inheriting. So what does that mean? That means we want to give them tools to face climate change focused on the West, whether that is water rights to land management. We want to give them skills to be competent and excel in a global world. We want them to have leadership abilities so that our students are poised to make a difference in the world. And we want them to have independence and curiosity to discover and achieve their dreams. And so we're finding exciting ways to incorporate these skills and values into our already exceptional curriculum. And with that in line, as we develop this curriculum, we're also thinking about ways that we can expand within our campus, whether that's looking at building a new academic building so that we have the classrooms that will provide us with the opportunities that we want to provide our students. So it's an exciting time at Fountain Valley. We're thrilled that you are all here tonight. And we hope that you will come visit and come say hello. Our doors are always open. You can always reach out to anyone in our admissions office or to me or to any of the teachers that you're going to be hearing from this evening. So I'm going to turn it over now to my fantastic colleagues who are on the teaching side. And the first one is Senora Torres. Take it away.
Hi, everybody. So happy to be here tonight. Let me introduce myself. My name is Eunice Torres. I moved from Puerto Rico a year and a half ago. And why Fountain Valley? That's an important question. But my answer is why not? I know I left the island and the ocean and everything to move here because I knew I was going to explore a new place and I was so ready for the challenge. So why yes? Fountain Valley is a yes to me. Of course, I miss the ocean. Of course, I miss everything. But to have this opportunity to learn about boarding school, which I never been in a boarding school before, and to have this opportunity to grow as a professional, I'm sure you will have that opportunity too, to grow as a student in many areas. In my classroom, it's a Spanish class. And in my classroom, we implement a lot of technology. Spanish is a language that students really like. So I include many hands-on activities. We dance, we sing a lot. I don't force them to roll their R's. So they're happy to learn the language in this safe environment where they can actually speak and they can actually be themselves. So I would say that my experience in my classroom with my student has been a very positive one. The students are not afraid to learn. They're not afraid to speak. They're more than happy to be part of a class like this. Also, we encourage them to try to speak the language, the Spanish language, in a very safe environment. So Fountain Valley is an amazing place to learn. Fountain Valley is an amazing place to grow. And I will also say that I've seen my students growing in many areas. And I would say that I would see them grow in academics. Every time they're self-advocating to learn more Spanish, to have more practice in class. Also, I learn a lot about the athletic. We have an amazing athletic department. So our school, it's not only focusing in the classes, we also care about athletics. So this season I was coaching cross country, and it was an amazing experience to see the students performing in that hard setting, which is to run. And sometimes we think that running without a reason, it's not that fun. But actually they found a purpose in our team and we grew up as a family. So that's another plus to come to Fountain Valley. You're gonna find a family in your sports. So that's another area. And those students are not gonna be in your class. So that's even more amazing because you're gonna have a big family in your dorm, a family in your classroom, a family in your sports. So, and also our school have these amazing events. We have different events. We have affinity groups, we have clubs, we do different parties. We celebrate the Latino Heritage Month. We celebrate the Native American Heritage Month. So in the extracurricular area, our school, I would say that it's growing and growing every year. Even I've been here only a year and a half, I heard from my colleagues how amazing the school has been working in all those areas. So I think Fountain Valley should be a really good option, and I'll be more than happy to be that teacher to welcome you next year if you decided so. So thank you for listening to me, and now we'll pass you to this amazing chemistry teacher, Miss Danielle, and I would need to learn to pronounce your last name.
That's why we go by first names, Eunice. I'm Danielle Llewellyn, and I, like Eunice said, I'm a science teacher, and this year I am teaching advanced environmental science and sustainable science. And I think kind of just continuing along about what a classroom looks like or what classes look like with me. I think one of the biggest things is that we try to be really hands-on in the science department. And I do not really ever want a kid to be nodding off in class. I feel like that's my fault. So I need to make it engaging enough that the kids are never even thinking that, man, when's this over? What I like to hear at the end of class is, wow, that's it? Class is over already? And so a couple examples today in class, we were studying survivorship curves in environmental science. And so we were blowing bubbles and the students had to act as parents. And one of our students got the best dad award because he kept his bubble alive for 21 seconds. And at the end of this, we were able to graph type 1, type 2, and type 3 survivorship curves. And we're talking about population. And tomorrow we're hitting 8 billion, by the way, if anybody is interested in learning. So we are kind of, you know, following along the curriculum that is set, and it's pretty rigorous, but it's always hands-on. The students will watch a video at night to get the content, and then they come in and do a lab to elaborate that content. And in the other class I teach today, sustainable science, we are actually making soap. And so that class is more about learning some of the skills and techniques in science that are kind of, you know, traditional, or they seem to have gone by the wayside for many of us. And so we're trying to make sure that students have both the skill set and the understanding scientifically of what that means to be sustainable, and how that might look for us now who are inheriting a world that is not quite in the state we want it to be. How do we pass it on to our children so that it's better for the next generation to have a better experience than the one we might have with climate change and climate anxiety? So we are learning different sustainable options of how to be just good stewards of our land. And we just did a project helping our prairie, or educating people about our prairie. And with the soap, one of the great things is we are making the soap, and it's all natural ingredients. We know what's in it. And we are actually going to be, some of the students in my class are traveling with me on my interim to Kauai. And we are going to be studying about the sustainability of tourism especially in island nations, when you have Indigenous people who are kind of both the double-edged sword of tourism, and how we might travel but lightly and leave as little a footprint as possible while taking only pictures, and, you know, leaving footprints and taking memories and taking pictures. So we are going to travel around and learn about the flora and fauna of Hawaii, and learn about invasive species. And we are hoping to help pick invasive snails off of some leaves at the taro farms, and just trying to incorporate the things that the students are seeing in our classes every day into the wider world, and how we might also see that from both a social lens, a cultural lens, a justice lens, and things like that. So as much as it's science, we try to make sure that it's integrated into every aspect of their lives. So that's a bit about me. I'm going to pass it to Curtis, who is our arts department chair.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. I am going to share with you what the Fine Arts Department is up to this fall. Our curriculum does shift each semester a little bit, but currently right now this fall we have 12 visual arts courses being offered. We have 3 visual arts teachers. We have 7 different music course offerings between our 2 music teachers, and we are currently offering 3 levels of theater. We have our 1 theater teacher. Our theater program is also part of our after-school program. So we have theater classes during the academic day, and then during our 3 seasons of sports, we offer a play. The winter time is the musical. So the auditions happened last week. That is always sort of a highlight amongst our students. Let's see. Our curriculum, we're very intentional about our curriculum, and that it hopefully kind of coincides with the ethos of the school. We are proud that we still have a dark room. We have a metals program, which is very rare in the high school setting. These very tactile processes are, I think, what we do right now, and what we are planning on doing in the future also kind of lines up with the goal and the direction in which the school is moving. Our music program is a great sort of global connection as well. In terms of, we're also intentional about creating a curriculum that's accessible. We have several intro level classes, but we also have the classes for the students that are more advanced. That's especially applicable in our music program. Our visual arts classes, we kind of focus on a wider breadth, so exposing kids to more mediums as opposed to sequential classes. So they're exposed to sort of more creative ways of making. Couple highlights this fall. We have a new intro to ukulele class, which is very popular. I look forward to hearing them during our winter celebration that is coming up soon. We have a new alternative photography class. I'm currently working with another colleague on an inspired by nature class that's going to get our students outside on the prairie. And that curriculum is going to be based around sort of the vegetation, the scenery, the history of this place. Let's see. And then, yes, our darkroom class is also very popular, like I said. So that's what we're up to here. We have a lot of fun. If you ever have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. I am going to pass you on to Annie.
Hello, my name is Annie Rubel. I'm a 3-year junior from Colorado Springs, and I just want to tell you the 3 main reasons why I came to Fountain Valley, I was immediately drawn to the community aspect of the school. There aren't a lot of students. I believe the student population is around 230 people. So you really get to know everyone, and it's really nice to see someone new and then immediately get to know them. And I feel like I know everyone's name, and it's so nice to just walk past someone and be able to say hi. Another reason is I grew up in a public school environment. So going to a private school like Fountain Valley, my academic course load and just my academic experience has been much higher. I feel like the quality of education has drastically increased from what I grew up with. So that's very nice. And the last thing is the opportunities I've been given at Fountain Valley. I would say the three main highlights of school so far have been going to England on a Round Square trip, which was it's Round Square is a club, and I got to go to a conference in England, and I got to just experience so much in such a short amount of time. The second thing is interim. Last year, I went on a canoeing trip in Labyrinth Canyon along the Green River, and that created just an incredible experience. I got to really know so many people that I had never really spoken to before, which was amazing. And then my sophomore year, which was last year, I went on a trip called WHIP, and it's just your sophomore class. And that was one of the best experiences ever. I got to become so close with my class. And when I came back, I just felt so amazing. And WHIP was a great experience because in interim, it's experiential learning. So they take learning out of the classroom and bring it into nature. So you really get an understanding of like where you are and how to connect with nature and be a responsible person when living in our world. And that was just such an amazing opportunity. So now I'll pass it on to the other student delegate, Sam.
Okay, hi, I'm Sam. I am a 3-year junior and I am from Denver. I would say that the 3 most significant things that drew me to FVS were definitely sports. I am a swimmer, and when I toured, the new gym had just been built, and that whole facility is just incredible, and every single team is so close. So that definitely drew me in. And then gosh, Annie, I would also say that the interactions that you're going to get here with teachers are really unlike any other school. I mean, I've eaten dinner in my math teacher's house before, and like we all cook dinner together, and as well with my advisory. And I just feel like I can really talk to any teacher about anything. And the like opportunities for advocacy are incredibly significant. My highlights were also with an interim. Interim, like Annie said, was just a fantastic experience to go closer to my grade. Interim, I went volunteering in Colorado Springs last year with, again, kids I had never talked to, and we became so close. But this year they're offering, incredible trips to, Germany, France. I'm going to Santa Fe with Mr. Singmaster and Miss Torres. But yeah, I would just say overall, it's like a super interactive campus. And I think that was like the most important thing that drew me in.
Well, wonderful. Thank you all to my colleagues and our students for sharing a few thoughts about their experiences with Fountain Valley School. I particularly have to thank Annie and Sam. It's tough to talk about your own experiences, not necessarily what you teach or what you do, but the experiences you've had here. And I think everyone really appreciated hearing from you both. I have just put in the chat here that if anyone has any questions, please feel free to throw them in the chat here, and we'll do our best to answer them on the call. I will also say, if you have the courage and want to turn on your microphone and your video and want to ask a question, we'll do our best to answer any questions that you have now. will also say that I'm going to put my my email address here in the chat, and if anyone thinks of anything perhaps later on, please feel free to email me and I'll grab that information and get it to you as quickly as possible. So there's my email address if you want to get that email address now, and you can shoot me an email later on and I'll get that information for you, or I can obviously get one of my colleagues to respond to if you want to hear specifically from them. Just while you're all thinking, I'm going to share some important information about sort of upcoming dates and other events that you might want to join us for. So the first thing is, again, I mentioned at the start of the call, our next virtual event is on December 6th at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and that's a conversation with our parents. So that will be a good one. Also, something worth mentioning is our winter open house, which is on January 13, and that is on campus. So that's an in-person event on our campus. And then if you would like to check out a whole list of all the other virtual Zoom events that we have coming up, they're on our website under the admissions tab. And there's a whole a variety of different sort of themes for those events too. So please join us for those ones. Some important dates to remember as you're looking at Fountain Valley School and sort of tackling the application process. We have an early action process, and the deadline for that is December 15. Again, you can find additional information on our website about that one. And that's pretty cool because you can get your decision a little bit earlier. You find out whether you've been admitted to Fountain Valley School by February 1. So have a look at that one. Otherwise, we have our regular application process. Applications are due by February 1. And decisions are released on March 10. So there's some other dates just to keep in mind. But I think the most important thing to keep in mind this evening is come and visit us. Come and check us out. Come and meet these people on campus and tour around and really get a feel for the campus. We'd love to have you here anytime. My colleagues and I welcome the opportunity to show you around. We do have a couple of questions in the chat. I'm just going to read them out here. Thanks, Toby. What do you offer in the music department? And I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Singmaster to answer that one for me.
Thank you. I was trying to type ukulele in the response. Now I can just say it. Toby, currently we're offering an intro to a couple levels or a couple classes of our intro to ukulele. We have our choir program. We have a composition and music theory class. We have a select ensemble. We have a modern orchestra. Next semester, we are also going to be introducing an intro to music and music history class, along with the classes that I just said, and an advanced theory class as well. Those select ensembles in terms of their repertoire, often it's kind of a response to the instruments and the sort of the level of students as well. Does that answer your question? And we also have a music history class that's in the works as well, but that's likely going to be introduced next fall.
Toby, if you have any other follow-up questions. Oh, great. Yep. Toby's saying thank you. So you're all set there, Curtis. Thank you very much. Megan, we also have another question for you here. Nicole and Caroline Jeffers would love to hear a little bit more about what drew you to Fountain Valley School from your previous school.
From my previous school, yes. I have always had a love of the outdoors and spent a lot of time when I first got out of college, believe it or not, as a backcountry ranger in Montana, and was a wilderness firefighter. And then when I was raising my 3 children, I was back on the East Coast. And then all of a sudden I had the opportunity when my kids were in college to really look and go anywhere. And so when the Fountain Valley job opened up, it was like everything that had come together for me. That love of boarding schools, a love of the outdoors, and a love of adventure. So that's what drew me to Fountain Valley, and that's what will keep me here as well.
Thank Thank you very much, Megan. I often walk my dog very early in the morning, and the first person I see is Megan out on the prairie with her dogs too. I can vouch for that. She loves it out there. Any other questions before I cut everyone loose tonight? They can go and enjoy their Monday evening or what's left of it. I think we'll leave it there. Again, thank you very much to my colleagues for joining me this evening, and I look forward to seeing everyone on our next call on December 6th. But good night for now. See you, folks. Thank you again.